Welcome to World of Marketing Podcast, a Foster Web Marketing production. Here's your host, Tom Foster.
Everybody, it's Tom Foster and my good buddy Cody and the world of marketing. And we got a juicy tidbit for you today. Right, Cody?
We sure do.
And Cody, where you're out in Oregon? Where in Oregon?
Bend, Oregon. Yep.
Bend, Oregon.
Bend, Oregon.
He's safe part. He's in a safe area.
Well, we're kind of burning up right now. We got fires all over.
Oh man,
that's our deal. Yeah.
That's not so safe. Well.
Yeah, it's been smoky.
Well, I appreciate. I'm thinking away. Hold on a minute. I appreciate you putting this together because, by the way, those of you that don't know, Cody is one of the resident geniuses at FWM, maybe top professor genius. Has been with me for a long time, and actually came to work in Fairfax. Lived in Fairfax when he came to work for us. Then moved back out home and stayed working remote even before pandemic, and works with some of our top clients, and even was the drummer for the band when he was around here. So he was the drummer before Cole from Mad Brenda. So we had some good gigs together. You still playing drums? You got a set out there you bang on?
A little bit, yeah. A little bit. I've been working on my car, free time, with these young kids. The free time's a little harder to come by, so it's a little different these days, but it's trying to work on my car. Get the car going.
The cars, that's right. He works on cars. And what it Camaros, and isn't it Camaros and
Trans Ams.
Trans Ams, right. I was close.
70 Trans Am that I'm working on, yeah.
Well, you got to send us some pictures. I remember seeing them. So are you in the middle of one of those right now?
I am, yep. Yep, needs paint, but I got the motor all hopped up and drivetrain's all good.
Is it like Smokey and the Bandit Trans Am?
It's a little older, which is, so it's a 70, so let's see if I think I have one on my desktop right now. But that's what I'm going for. Can you see my desktop?
Oh, that's awesome. Is that it? Or is that the look? That's what you're...
Once it's painted, that's what it'll look like, yeah.
Wow,
so
that's beautiful, man.
Yeah, I've had it forever. It's a big passion project there, a lot of history with it. So it's a fun project.
Awesome, man. All right, well, we'll keep everybody updated on that project on social media. Good to have projects. Speaking of, okay, so back to business. So this is kind of a new thing, and it is part of pay-per-click, and it is opening up pay-per-click to the local 3-pack right now, or above the 3-pack, right? Isn't that what it is, Cody?
Yep, we'll look at that. We'll look at it as an example, and it's, it could be a very big change, and it's something to, definitely take a serious look at it, and definitely something worth considering when we see, changes as big as this, happening to search results.
Yeah, well, tell us all about it, man.
Yeah, so essentially we're seeing a brand new ad format show up, very top of search result pages, highlighting, local legal services. So we've seen this. This has been live and used for years in the home services industry. So our plumbers, HVAC technicians, electricians, this has already been, used for a long time and, well tested. We've seen it used a little bit in some markets, Southern California, parts of Texas. This has already been live and tested as well for immigration lawyers and estate planning lawyers. So it's, been thoroughly tested, and, now we've seen it roll out across the country and is, technically live.
Is it live everywhere now?
I've been told from a Google Ads rep it's live, but we're actually still not really seeing those results. At least I'm not. And I found out that Google is actually waiting for 5 or more advertisers per market before we'll actually see the results. So they're not just going to roll it out with one advertiser in a market. They're going to wait until there's multiple people willing to pay for it before we'll actually start seeing some of those results.
So where everybody's encouraging people to sign up for it then, like we are.
Oh yeah.
So we can, get people to.
So let's. Well, I want to show you an example here. Really, what's going to be important is, some of that information comes in from Google My Business. A lot of it, we kind of have to enter it as well. But reviews are going to be huge. Pictures are going to be huge. But let's look at it at an example in Houston. If we look up, do a search for like estate planning lawyer in Houston, a pretty competitive search query. Boom, we're seeing these tiles right on the very top of search results. This is above our traditional like Google ad paid placements here, above the local pack, and way above our organic rankings in our search results. So it's just very prominent, and I think it's would be foolish to not give this a strong consideration and give it a shot. Yeah, exactly. I'm always about testing, evaluate and give it a shot. So there's, I think a little motivation behind this. I want to go back to that search results. So organically,
I wanted to just look it up. I'm not being rude here. I just wanted to look it up on Chrome on my phone. So you said estate planning lawyer. Yeah, estate planning lawyer, Houston.
Yeah, see if that pulls it up.
Yeah. It goes on mobile too. Same.
Yep, should have a similar result there.
And that's those ads go on top of local, and on top they go on. It's those ads first, then regular ads, then local, then you get to organic.
It's very, very prominent.
Google is really pushing the pay-per-click, man.
And that's my theory.
But let's be clear. Only this is only these vanity keywords, only these short keywords.
Yeah, a lot of the head terms. So we're seeing these type of results for.
You extend this out longer to a more of a question, and this all goes away.
Right. Yeah. We're not seeing the results for the long tail search terms and all that. So
just keep that in mind, everybody. Just keep that in mind. I'm not saying that it's not important, but my point is, don't stop here. What Cody's going to show us here is how to grab this real estate, this ad real estate, before your competitors do. But don't stop here. Always continue to go after long tail.
Oh yeah, absolutely. There's huge opportunity there as well. But you kind of hinted why Google's kind of doing this. And I think it's, to me, fairly clear that Google sees a lot of these legal directories that have gotten really good at SEO, and they have huge, powerful, domains and can rank for these head terms. Google sees just money going out the door when sites like FindLaw and Avvo and lawyers.com are connecting people with a legal problem with an attorney. And I think this is a further, step that they're taking part in this. Like they're almost like acting like a legal directory here. And we'll look at, more of the platform and what I see going on.
Interesting.
So yeah, with that, I mean, all the money that these directories are making.
Well, they gave them the prominence a couple of years ago. They gave all that prominence to them. They ranked them first. So they did that. Google did that.
Yeah. But I think, Google wants their slice of the pie, and it's, I think, about to get bigger the more they push, these forms of paid advertising.
Yeah.
So, yeah, for anyone interested, there is a pretty involved setup process. There's a lot of standard information that you'd need to, set up your ads to get running. A lot of the, basic business name, address, phone number, hours, all that good stuff, images, but there's actually a more involved process to get verified. We're talking attorney licenses. They want their numbers. They want to know that they're have an active status with their bar. They're asking for expiration dates, which is kind of weird because I've worked with some clients who say their bar license doesn't expire. So we've kind of had to work around that. And you actually have to submit proof that you have malpractice insurance. This is, again, all part of Google's screening process to, make sure these attorneys and law firms are legitimate. Other than that, kind of some standard information. When the business was founded, number of lawyers, your budget, how much you want to spend, and then your basic billing information. But the billing, so keep in mind these platforms are entirely different when we're talking local service ads compared to Google ads, entirely different platforms, but you can actually sync the billing, which is kind of nice, the billing payment profiles. So there's that to it. But
by the way, before I just want to let everybody know that Cody's got a pretty good slideshow here, slide deck, that if you want to get your hands on it, you can just shoot me an email at Tom Foster at Foster Web Marketing, and I'll make sure that we send this to you. Okay, go ahead, Cody.
Yeah, I think it is helpful for anyone watching, to actually see what that dashboard looks like. We'll be working on getting a blog up or something to show some of these screenshots because they kind of help explain it as well. But another kind of cool part of the platform, I wanted to show the type of areas of law that are live. So we have bankruptcy, criminal, estate, IP lawyers, malpractice, the list goes on. But once you drill into one of those, here we're looking at all the types of personal injury service types you can, opt into. So you can make it more specific than just general personal injury. You can dial into just automotive related accidents or, workers' compensation, if that's, the area of law you're practicing in.
Is this connected to the local database in any way, these categories?
It's actually different. No, these are, we're actually seeing way more specific categories here than what we have in Google My Business, which is kind of interesting.
It is a lot of detail. Okay.
Yeah, nowhere near as specific or complicated as the Google Ads campaign, but there will be limitations with that as well.
You can target of course, your location. So I can say, am I jumping ahead? But
yeah. That too. That's another targeting option. So you can, select which.
I just want to be in this certain area of town, or I just want to test a pay campaign, in Charlotte, North Carolina, for instance.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, and you're really going to want to start small. A lot of clients will say well, I'll take a good case from anywhere in the state, but that's really not super practical, I would dial it down, especially when we're, starting and testing any type of new platform like this. Make it small, local to your area, to your city. I would really stick within like kind of the areas typically within, 15 miles, something like that. That's, really your relevant audience. I know it's totally different now with attorneys meeting with, clients over video like this. I think it'll really change that landscape as well. But it's, again, I would, stick to your immediate, like, local area.
Can I'm going to throw you off track again because I just clicked on the link. You go back to the link itself, like the result. And what's interesting, click on the Kearney McWilliams one. Just click on it. Look at this is a different result. This is a different page that Google has created specifically.
Yeah, we didn't really even dig into this yet. So I'm glad you brought it up. And one thing that we haven't quite got to yet, but it's really good to point out, we're not paying for clicks. So I don't feel bad about clicking on any of these because they're not charging anybody. We're not paying for clicks or impressions or anything like that. So once you set up the profile, get verified, this is what your basically page looks like. There's no links out to the website. Actually, there is right there. You can list out those different, services you want to opt into, show your location. The reviews are obviously huge. But do you know how they're getting charged?
How are they charging?
So these are Google tracking numbers. And so you're only paying for calls. So you can also opt into messages. But it's a pay per lead model, very similar to a legal directory. So
that that number is a randomly generated number that connects to their main number that you put in the profile.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. And Google's, you actually replacing the number that's in the profile with one of their numbers so they can track to see how long the calls are and provide some data tracking there.
And that's fascinating. And but what if you click on that website link? It just goes to their website. They're not tracking that.
No, I guess not. Yeah, you're not being charged for it.
Fascinating. Well, you're right though that they are trying to kind of, circumvent, which is something that we've talked about for a while, is Google circumventing websites. Now, listen, people are still going to be like checking out more than this. This is not going to be enough for many people. They're going to need to verify other things about you. And this will serve a purpose of another, validation in one sense. But I like that Google screened green button thing that they got there. And background and licenses checked by Google. I love that kind of endorsed by Google thing, which it means nothing really. Like what Google has no legal like endorsement. All you did was fill out that form.
Yeah, I mean they've done
That's hilarious. All they do
we'll
is
take
say,
a peek at
you're licensed.
Well, they actually do a full-blown background check. We haven't quite got there yet. We'll look at that, but they do
I'm
full-blown.
I think I'll just shut up and let you finish your presentation, Cody.
So
funny. Oh, here you are.
This is, very, exactly what we're talking about is this verification process to get that, Google screen check mark. I think it does add some like trust,
yes,
feeling, to its users, for one, I think it's I
didn't know it was authentic.
A way to fight against. Yeah, we'll take a look at it. but I also think it's a good direction to fight against the spam that we're seeing in like the local results. So, on a weekly basis, I'm reporting all kinds of garbage Google My Business listings that are, people spamming the results to get, clicks and calls and generate leads, but it's getting, I think, completely out of hand. But I think like going through this process, you're not gonna be able to do it unless you are an actual legitimate attorney and in law firm. So I don't think we'll see much spam in these type of results.
Very good.
If any. So a snapshot of the dashboard. These are all the, to go through that verification process. This is what you're looking at. We're submitting the attorney's license information. We're actually submitting proof of malpractice insurance, a PDF of a document shows we have insurance there. And then once we do that, we actually go through and link out to a Pinkerton site to submit a complete background check for the business owner. So we're working with the clients to get social security numbers, date of birth, all of their contact information, their tax filing numbers.
When you're saying we, you're saying that we as services, you as the team are working with our clients, our lawyers to take care of all this for them.
Yeah, I mean, because it's typically stuff that we don't know.
Right.
So there's it's a dedicated call to work together on this to get it set up.
So there's a lot of work to get all this set up.
Yeah, no, it's fairly complex and it's not quick.
Yeah,
it takes a while.
Patient. Well, this is pretty big deal, man. I'm fairly embarrassed that I was laughing at it, but it looks like.
Well, we haven't seen Google do anything like this before, so it is very new. It's very different.
What is this?
I was kind of surprised.
Is this like the Pinkertons, like from the cowboy movies, like the Pinkertons? That's funny.
Yeah, some kind of background, agency that goes through all this. But yeah, there's 6 steps to it, and I really didn't know what I was getting into. I thought I could, set this up in 30 minutes and was blown away, like with how much, the steps to it and all the information it does actually ask and require. So I think it's going to weed out a lot of.
It's a lot like Avvo, right? I mean, it's like Avvo.
I mean, even more so, yeah. Even more so.
Wow.
Yep. So once you get through that 6 steps, none of it's like, super complicated or, to do, but it is a lot of, entering, when did you, personal residences, like addresses, how long you've lived there, typical like background information stuff that you got to submit. After you go through that, you'll get a couple emails from Pinkerton on instructions and a few more things that you have to go through, a link to follow, provide more information. And that's really heavily,
what is
we're relying on
a
the
whole other thing
that.
they got to fill out this complete your Pinkerton business owner package?
Yep. So yeah, you'll get an email to do that, and more information like that to provide.
Wow. So you got to okay. So that last screen gets the Pinkerton business owner package sent to you. That's what this does.
Yeah, right. And that's all by email. And that's just
you got to fill out this whole other package thing.
Yeah,
wow.
And it seemed to go pretty quick, but it's it's kind of a series of emails and information
but you've done
to
this
go through and sort through.
You've done this for a few of your clients.
Yep. Yeah, I've all my clients with any sort of paid advertising budget, we're heavily recommending if we're already have marketing dollars to spend and on Google Ads. It's a good definitely good opportunity to test it out and see how it works.
Cody, is it by lawyer or is it by the firm?
Like
the
how
profile.
you'd set up the account.
Yeah.
So it's by firm. So you can list like multiple lawyers, which you would want to do. Put in all the information, the license information for all of the attorneys. So if you have 5 attorneys, you want to make sure those are all listed in the profile.
Okay.
But most people are going to want to know, how much does it cost? So, and it really depends on,
Phone
your
calls.
area of law and where you're at.
And how many
But
people
this
call that number?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, how many, leads you're generating. But it's priced, per lead. And once you kind of get rolling in the dashboard, get all the information in, you can customize the budget with a sliding scale of kind of how many, leads you want to spend. So here's some good ranges. For this specific campaign, we can start out as low as $315 a month. No, that's a week. That's a weekly figure, and then that's projected to get 6 calls or leads. Or you can max it out at $3,400 a week and get 61 leads a week. Yeah. You can also opt into a message lead if you want to do that as well.
Is that like a chat or a contact form?
It's like a contact form basically, where you get their basically receive a message by email or text from user. So I'd expect to see a little bit less conversions on a message lead than a call lead. A call lead, you have somebody on the phone right now. Message, do you get in contact with them? Probably, but not all the time.
Text me now. I think that would work in this generation. Text now.
Yeah.
Do they give you any data on just clicks on the ad itself?
Like impression data, how much you're being seen and that sort of thing?
How much you're being seen, impression, like that will appear up in that, in that 3-pack, I guess. And then how many clicks on your ad?
No, actually not. Right now I haven't seen any.
All you get is if people call the number. That's
there's like a lead dashboard you can see. But yeah, I can't recall seeing any sort of like data on that. I could see them adding that though. It seems like definitely important to, you want to know.
That you would want to know, and I'm sure that they do, if people are like clicking on to their website from that page.
Yeah.
Because not everybody's just going to be like, just because of that search, ready to just make that phone call right then, as we know.
Yeah, I think there's one thing I've learned is there's different users behave different ways. So
100%.
Me, I'm a slow learner. I would most definitely do the research, put in the research, and educate myself on the the type of legal issue that I had, or whatever.
Well, you think about your car. Working on your car. Like you didn't like go type in like how to paint my car. Like that's not going to solve your problem. You had to get certain kind of paint for that year or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And you had to do your research, and that is significant. And that's the point here, gang, is that the long tail, and generally the higher end clients, especially like estate planning, and they're still in long tail land. So do not forget that this is capturing, yes, short tail or immediate, and we call them tire kickers. Like, be prepared. Your intake needs to be prepared for people that are price shopping at this level, because they're going to call this guy and this guy and this guy because it's quick and easy. How much are you? How much are you? And if you're set up for that, wonderful, nothing wrong with that. But if you're a boutique, you're not set up for that and you're uncomfortable with that, then don't be here. Don't be set, don't, or have that expectation, because the other part of this is that people come in through this route and they're like, I want you to do my estate plan. The last guy said $40. And I've heard this, by the way, $40. And, I know many of you are charging, $1,000, $5,000. I know some that are 10 grand plus to doing a trust in the States, and they're be offended by $40,000 or $40. But there are some firms that are doing it. And, if you're like offended, you don't want them to walk away from that being offended of your offense and go give you a crappy review, which people will quickly do, especially if they're right there on the web. And we've seen that, right, Cody?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Anyway,
that's time.
Taking us off track here again, but let's keep going here.
So let's see. So, next up, there's a few different ways, like you're actually charged, and we've kind of already hit on it, but, Google's using Google tracking numbers so they can monitor when a call is placed. They're actually only charging right now for calls over 30 seconds, which is a good qualifier. So if it's a short, quick,
interesting,
spammy phone call or something that's, only lasts like a few seconds, you don't actually get connected, like you're not actually charged for it. And there's a option to run these ads like during your actual business hours or 24 hours a day. And, for a lot of my clients, I'm going to be doing it for just the actual hours that they're in office and can answer the phone. If it's, after hours, even if they have like a, answering service, those services tend to ask a ton of questions and have these long conversations with the relevant, leads. I'm going to be focusing on the, calls that they can get connected to the, office staff during business hours. And there's, let's see, so the message leads is optional. You can opt into that as well. And again, not getting charged for any clicks or ad impressions, which is again, totally different model than our, what we see in Google Ads.
They can always change this. They're probably just getting ramped up.
Yep. Yeah, I would not be surprised. But there's an actual lead dashboard where you can see the leads you've gotten and actually, use it. I know lawyers.com and Avvo, all these different sites have dashboards like this to evaluate your leads, to spend time, classifying them and all that. And this is brand new. I don't think Google's ever been in this business, so it's totally new. And you can actually, request reimbursement if you're seeing something irrelevant, if it's from outside your practice area or not, in the location you're targeting. You can request to be reimbursed for it. So,
wow, a lot like
kind of cool.
Like Engage and Chat, where you're like, this is not for me, and they reimburse you very nicely.
Yep.
That's cool.
Same as Engage. Yep.
That's great.
Yeah. So that can definitely save you some money. There's no such thing as a reimbursement with Google Ads. If
that's a good point.
Don't have your keyword strategy dialed in and you're getting irrelevant clicks, that's on you. This is, a little more forgiving, assuming you have the, your types of cases you want in the area, all that set up correctly. So a few more different thoughts on kind of stuff that I've picked up on the platform so far. People definitely got to plan for, several days or even weeks for this to get set up and to go through all this verification process. Even after you have everything submitted, it can take a while, to go through that Pinkerton background check and to get, all of that verified and submitted. So plan ahead for that. If, anyone's like considering it, there's going to be, I think, a huge influx of people who get on the bandwagon. And I think the sooner you have it set up, gone through the verification process, definitely the better, even if you're starting with a very small budget, or, run it for a week and then pause it. At least you're set up and verified and ready to go. But there's some weird, I've hit a few bugs in the platform during the setup process, and there's some limited functionality with, firms with like multiple locations. They're actually having us set it up completely different accounts under different email addresses for any law firm with different, multiple locations. If you want to have, different campaigns going for different offices, that's, twice the work. If you have 10 offices, that's 10 times the work, 10 background checks, all the above. So it's pretty,
You have to have it
pretty
for each
intense.
office location.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
So it's
That's a good point.
fairly involved for our bigger clients.
So for like a Hupy, 13 locations.
Yeah. So 11 locations. Yeah, that'd be 11 different accounts. It's a little bit clunky that way. I don't know that they completely thought through all of that, because there's a lot of firms with more than one office. They're definitely, this is, you would have to have an actual like office location to use this platform, but it's, not really thought out that well for multiple locations, and a little hard to manage that way.
So, Cody, it seems relatively straightforward once you set this up, and you do the hard, just the setup, which is just tedious,
Mm-hmm.
and go through that. And then you just set it up with a budget of like, you just say like $500 to start. And you just monitor the lead flow, and make sure that you get reimbursed for ones that are no good.
Yep.
But that seems pretty straightforward. Like, why wouldn't anybody do that?
Yeah, exactly. I'm encouraging everybody, whether you have an existing Google Ads
This is totally
budget
different.
or not, like it's a lot of the it's actually pretty hard. A lot of the marketing, like advertising dollars that clients spend, sometimes it's really hard to attribute, like, is this working or not? But Google, I think, is actually doing a pretty good job at being able to determine that. So I think after a month, 2 months, you'd have a really good understanding of if it's generating a positive ROI or not. And it makes it pretty easy to, although tedious, set it up and test it out.
Yeah. Have you seen success from clients that you've set this up with already?
So I've got it set up, but it's actually not, we're still not seeing those ads show up. Again, there's just not enough like advertisers in those specific markets to get those to show up yet.
Yeah.
So it's still kind of in the works.
I guess the point here is that you want to get more people involved. And obviously it doesn't cost anything if the ads aren't showing up. So you want to get more people involved. I hate to say this, but even your competitors, just to get that to pop, because ultimately, even for brand searches, that'll be a good, Anyway, more to come, I think, on what Google does with it.
Yeah, and I think there'll be no shortage of, law firms signing up for this once the ball gets rolling. It's still like very brand new. And once I think there's going to be a huge mad rush once we start seeing these like actually show up in a few big markets, and then it's just going to, I think, blow up. But yeah, we're still kind of waiting to actually see that happen.
Cool. Okay. Is that it?
Yeah, I think that's it. There's support from Google. They're a little slow to get back to you and a little difficult to get connected with them, but they do have a team helping people, advertisers, get this set up with any questions they have. And obviously for our services clients, we can work with our clients to get, this integrated into into their plans, just like I'm doing for, most of my clients.
Yeah. And of course, if you don't currently get services from us and would like to get help from somebody smart like Cody to just take care of this for you, give us a shout. Email is tomfoster@fosterwebmarketing.com. And also, if you'd like a copy of this wonderful little presentation that Cody put together for us. Cody, thank you so much, my friend. It is, thanks for putting this together for us and keep us informed. We'll check in a couple of months to see how well these campaigns are doing.
Sounds good. Yeah, thanks for having me. And I hope next time when we talk, I have more guitars on the wall. I'm a little bit outnumbered over here.
I was thinking about that actually while I was like, I got him beat, man.
My lonely little Takamine, but
that's right. But you got a Trans Am. I don't. So, and I want to send me some pictures of that bad boy.
Will do.
All right, buddy. All right, Cody. All right, everyone. It's been Cody Moulton. Thank you so much, my man. Great presentation. And Tom Foster here on the World of Marketing. Talk to you soon.